All right, let's jump right into this. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're unpacking a fascinating and honestly slightly terrifying concept that's hiding right in plain sight inside our daily workflows. You probably think that when you use an AI tool, you're just buying a service, right? You pay your 20 bucks a month and boom, you get a smart digital assistant. But the sources we're diving into today reveal a much deeper reality. These AI tools aren't just software you buy. They act a lot like a Trojan horse. You aren't just purchasing a tool, you are actively being harvested for your hard-earned expertise. So today, we're breaking down the invisible cost of AI and what's called the reverse information paradox. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We're going to cover the invisible cost of AI, the reverse information paradox, the SME data trap, the logic behind digital feudalism, how to actually profit from the infrastructure, and finally, how to protect your intellectual capital. Okay, part one. The invisible cost of AI. We really need to completely shatter the illusion that your AI subscription is just a simple closed financial transaction. Listen to this quote. You are paying for AI twice, once with your money and a second time with your knowledge. What's absolutely wild here is that this urgent warning comes directly from Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, a Silicon Valley titan who is actively selling you these exact tools. In a recent essay that blew up online, he literally brought this to light. It's essentially like the owner of a Vegas casino stepping out onto the sidewalk just to explain to you exactly why the house always wins. To really ground this, let's look at a micro anecdote we can all probably relate to. Picture a consultant working late in Milan. It's Tuesday night, 10:40 p.m. He's totally drained, so he asks the AI to draft up a complex document. Step one, the AI spits out a draft in, 10 seconds? And it looks pretty great on the surface. But step two, this consultant has 15 years of hard-won, specialized experience. His trained eye spots a hidden, highly nuanced error that the machine totally missed. So step three, he corrects it in just 3 lines of text and hits enter. And right there, he has accidentally made the most expensive keystroke of his entire day. He just gave away his highly specialized knowledge completely for free, straight back to the machine. Which brings us to section 2, the reverse information paradox. To understand exactly who is cashing in on that consultant's late-night keystrokes, we have to look at a massive shift in economic theory. Back in 1962, Nobel-winning economist Kenneth Arrow coined the Arrow paradox. The old paradigm was simple. If you wanted to sell an idea, you had to show it to the buyer. But once you showed it, well, they had it for free. The risk was entirely on the seller, which, by the way, is exactly why we created patents. But the AI revolution has completely flipped the table. Today, we're living in the reverse AI paradox. The AI model comes out of the box knowing absolutely nothing about your specific business secrets. To make it useful at all, you have to feed it your 10-year shortcuts. So now, the risk is entirely on the buyer. It's on you, because your knowledge is actively being extracted by the model. Nadella actually calls this data extraction exhaust. I love this metaphor. It just makes the concept so tangible. Think of it exactly like the exhaust pipe on a car engine. It's an invisible byproduct that escapes every single time you accelerate your workflow. Every prompt you write, every little correction you make, distills years of your craft into a few words. And you are feeding it into a one-way mirror. The model learns absolutely everything about you and your workflow, but you learn nothing about what it retains, where that data goes, or crucially how it might be used by your competitors tomorrow morning. Let's move to section 3, the SME data trap. So who's actually the most vulnerable to this one-way extraction? Let's use Italy as a prime example here. 5,227,000. According to December 2025 data from Istat, that is the massive number of independent workers in Italy alone. We're talking engineers, lawyers, consultants, artisans, accountants. For these professionals, their primary, most highly vulnerable capital isn't a factory full of heavy machinery. It's their accumulated knowledge. And that is exactly what this paradox silently vacuums up. Now, this perfectly illustrates a massive structural divide in how we actually protect that knowledge. If we look at 2025 AI adoption rates, specifically adoption with built-in data protection, large enterprises are sitting comfortably at 53.1%. They have the capital to negotiate these private AI fences with tech companies to keep their data completely secure. But SMEs, small and medium enterprises, are down at just 15.7%. Small businesses are stuck relying on the consumer versions of these AI tools. The ones that openly siphon their data. This creates a staggering 37-point destiny gap. The big players keep their knowledge locked in, while the small players literally leak their competitive advantage out into the public model every single day. Section 4, the logic of digital feudalism.
Let's zoom out for a second to analyze the broader economic structure creating this trap. Critics of the major tech giants describe this whole system as digital feudalism. It's a harsh term, but analytically, it's a fascinating reality. It's an ecosystem where the Lord owns the digital infrastructure and the means of production, the servers, the cloud, the AI models. You, the user, are basically the farmer working the land. You put in the labor, you write the prompts, you refine the outputs. But the Lord collects the rent, regardless of how good your harvest is. There's this fantastic agricultural analogy in our sources to cement the sheer danger of this vendor lock-in. It's like a farmer building a barn to a single buyer's exact specs. The prices only reveal at delivery when it's too late to turn back. Imagine building 18 months of custom workflows, document templates, and fine-tuned instructions on a single vendor's AI platform. You're entirely locked in. If that vendor suddenly restricts the model or drastically jacks up the price, you can't easily pack up those 18 months of learning and just leave. You lose total control of your own learning loop.
All right, Section 5, profiting from infrastructure. We aren't just here to doom scroll and admire the problem. Let's pivot to the solution. The crucial takeaway here is understanding the sheer strategic brilliance behind Nadella's essay. Why even warn people at all? Well, because Microsoft actually loosened its exclusive marriage with OpenAI, a company where it owns roughly a 27% stake, valued around $135 billion. By pointing out the flaws of relying solely on the AI models, Microsoft is actively shifting the perceived value. The analysis suggests the real power doesn't just lie with the people making the models. The real value lies with the secure cloud infrastructure providers, like Microsoft Azure, who can sell companies those highly profitable fences needed to actually protect their data. So how do you empower yourself in this landscape? It's simple. The rent you fear paying as a worker is the exact same rent you can collect as a shareholder. If you look inside a standard investment portfolio, particularly if you hold all-world ETFs, the top holdings are the very companies owning this infrastructure. By investing in the infrastructure, maybe using analytical tools like the Smart2 app to identify strong recurring revenue, you completely neutralize the threat. You don't need to guess which specific AI model is going to win the race, you just buy the racetrack. Finally, Section 6, how to protect intellectual capital. Let's bring this analysis right back down to your immediate day-to-day workflow. Here are the actionable defenses you can take today. First, you absolutely must treat your prompts, your document templates, and your checklists as strict intellectual property. Keep them in your own local files, not just sitting in some AI chat history. Second, go into your settings right now and disable AI training on your data. The option exists, but practically no one actually uses it. And third, aggressively avoid vendor lock-in. Build your method so you can swap out the AI model tomorrow morning without missing a beat. Remember, your freedom to walk away from a platform is literally the only real negotiating power you possess. This brings us to a final, really provocative thought. Think back to our consultant in Milan. His 15 years of experience, translated into 3 lines of code late at night, are right now out there working for everyone else who pays the same subscription fee. The AI didn't steal his knowledge. It simply convinced him to donate it for free. The difference between those who get hollowed out by this massive technological shift and those who profit from it won't be the AI itself. It will be knowing the answer to the single question, which side of the rent have you chosen to be on? Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer and deep dive into the source material. If this sparked some curiosity or made you rethink your daily workflow, make sure to tune in for our next explainer as we continue to decode the hidden systems shaping our digital world.